It's the Happy Families podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
The content that ChatGPT spits out is only as good as the information that it has access to. And therefore, it means that education really has to come back to absolute fundamentals, but helping them to understand how to think critically.
And now here's the stars of our show, my mum and dad.
Hello, this is Dr. Justin Coulson, the founder of happyfamilies.com.au and the author of a whole bunch of books about making your family happier. Oh, and the co-host and parenting expert on Channel 9's Parental Guidance. I'm here with Kylie. Hi, Kylie. And you're not going to say hello to me. I'm here with Kylie. Hi, Kylie.
I don't. Why?
You don't want to say hello to me?
No, I don't want to say hello to you.
Because we've already said hello to each other today. Is that the issue? You don't want to perform the hello?
Hello.
I love it. That's so great. We are the parents of 6 children who will roll their eyes when they listen to this on the way to school in the car. And today...
But they'll still listen.
They will. That's right. And they'll still be rolling their eyes because we're talking about them rolling their eyes. So many things to talk about in today's podcast. First thing that I wanted to do, Kylie, we're going to talk today about ChatGPT.
You mean like general practitioner?
No. I love that you said that. ChatGPT is an AI computer program. ChatGPT is, well, we'll talk more about it soon, but I think it's the future. I think it's the future of education. It's the future of life on this planet, maybe. I mean, ChatGPT is a big deal, and I want to share with you exactly how cool it is in just a couple of minutes. But before we talk about ChatGPT, 2 other quick announcements. The first is that this Thursday night, we've got a free webinar. happyfamilies.com.au or our Facebook page, Dr. Justin Coulson's Happy Families. Free webinar.
Well, in today's climate, to have anything free is pretty amazing.
Free webinar.
Free.
It's free. And it's all about being a resilient parent. So today's climate means lots of stress, financial challenges, mental health issues and more. And I'm going to be running a free webinar, about 25 minutes worth of content to help you as a parent to be more resilient. So that's this Thursday night. Get all the info on our Facebook page, on our Instagram, or at happyfamilies.com.au. Second thing that I wanted to mention just quickly, Kylie, it was a couple of weeks ago, and I've the email's been in my inbox, and every time we sit down to put together a podcast episode, I forget to mention it. And it came through on February 14, so it's like 3 weeks ago. I'm so sorry. Don't look at me like that. There's been a lot going on. I've just finished another book, for goodness sakes. You remember?
Was it a Valentine's for me?
It actually does have to do with Valentine's. Do you remember about a year ago I told you that I had accidentally signed up to write 4 books in 2 years?
Yes.
Just finished the third one. And that's why I forgot to mention this beautiful, beautiful email from Kristen Kelly, who simply said, hey guys, I just wanted to say thanks for the community you provide for us families that are wading through parenting one day at a time. She said, today being Valentine's Day, one of my daughters in year 12, who has recently broken up with her boyfriend, was heading off to school to discover her ex-boyfriend was asking her friend to the formal. Ouch. And geez, I felt it for her. Why is it so painful for us? I know we're her parents, but I feel like she took it better than I did. I jumped onto Happy Families looking to feel consoled or take some sort of control as much as I know we need to stand back. Kylie's Valentine's breakfast popped up, and we're now having a Valentine's afternoon tea. Another of our daughters rushed off to the office to fill in an anonymous Valentine's Day card to be delivered at lunch to our older daughter. Bless their hearts, from Kristen and fam. And so I just wanted to share that because what we're sharing on this podcast and what we share on our Facebook page makes a difference. People feel better. People change their lives as a result of it. We've had a couple of reviews come through just lately on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much to Jodes995 who said, listen to this makes me feel so much better as a parent. Great listening, 5 stars.
Because we tell her all our misdemeanors.
And Children's Speech gave us 5 stars as well. Love it. Really enjoy listening to this podcast. Helpful tips and topics that are highly relatable. Thank you. And there's a whole lot of others that have come through as well. There's been like nearly 600 reviews that have come through on Apple Podcasts. So that's the housekeeping out of the way. And also a big thanks to Kristen and a reminder about the free webinar. Now,
well, I'm interested to know what this ChatGPT is.
Okay.
If it's not a general practitioner where I get to chat to him on technology.
So ChatGPT is basically an AI. It's an AI program, artificial intelligence program, where you can jump onto the program itself, ChatGPT, and you literally just type in a question and it answers the question for you. So you can tell it to give you a 2000. So this is going to.
This is like.
This is the ultimate cheat. It's the ultimate
No, but
cheat.
this feels like the Jensens, like we're living in the future.
The Jetsons.
What did I say?
You said the Jensens.
The
I'm sure the Jensens appreciate feeling futuristic, but it was the Jetsons.
Meet George Jetson.
Yeah. So you literally, let's say that your English teacher or your health teacher gives you an assignment that says 2,000 words on such and such a topic. You type it into ChatGPT and it provides you with a 2,000 word essay, formatted appropriately, referenced appropriately. It's all there. You literally don't have to do the work. You just type it into ChatGPT and away it goes. So
okay. You're saying that this is the best thing since sliced bread, but
I didn't say it's the best thing since sliced bread, but it's phenomenal. I think it's extraordinary.
well, if our kids are using this to do their assessment work, then what are they learning?
Well, this is where it gets really important. So there's a whole lot of risks associated with ChatGPT, but there's also a whole lot of benefits. So just before I answer that question, I jumped into ChatGPT right before you sat down, and I decided that I was going to ask it to. We're always hearing about school refusal. School refusal is a really big deal. So I just typed into ChatGPT, what are the 3 best recommendations for dealing with a child who refuses to attend school due to anxiety and a troubled home life? And then I thought I would make it a bit trickier for ChatGPT. So I said, provide the answer in 300 words. And then I thought I would add one more element, using poetry. So I asked it to write me a poem about school refusal and 3 recommendations for making it better.
So I'm just letting you know that with this new knowledge,
Yes.
I expect a poem
Right. You want ChatGPT?
every Valentine's Day.
Let me read to you what it said. Now, it literally spat this out within about 15 seconds of me pressing go. It literally just line by line, it typed it. It provided the content for me that fast. It says this: in times of trouble, when things seem bleak and a child's anxiety makes them afraid to speak, when school becomes a place they can't bear to go and the troubles at home start to overflow, it's important to take a step back and breathe and focus on the child's needs, not just what they need to achieve. Here are 3 recommendations to help them through and hopefully to a brighter future guide them to. Firstly, make sure to listen and show that you care. Let the child know that their feelings are valid and you'll always be there. Create a safe space where they can express what's on their mind, and don't be afraid to ask for help if solutions you cannot find. Secondly, seek out professional support and guidance, whether that be therapy or counselling. They can provide much needed guidance. That's a really bad part of the poem right there. There are many resources available, so don't hesitate to ask. And remember, there's no shame in admitting you need to take that task. Thirdly, work with the school to create a supportive environment, one where the child feels safe and free from judgment and harassment, a place where they can learn and grow at their own pace, and where the teachers work together to help the child find their place. In conclusion, when a child's anxiety and troubled home life take hold, it's important to remember that there are ways to break the mold. Listen to the child, seek professional support, and work with the school. And with these recommendations, hopefully they can once again find their cool. What's your response to that?
Absolute cheating.
Is your mind blown, though?
Yes, my mind is blown. But this is
blown.
my point.
What is your point?
If kids have got access to this, then what are they learning? They're literally going to put in the question for their thesis. We could write your thesis.
Yeah, isn't it fascinating what happens here? So this is why I don't think we need to be afraid. There's a handful of things in there that clearly do not make it an A+. Okay, some of the poetry is not quite right, and even the advice that's given, it's actually pretty good advice, but there are ways that we could tweak that and make it far more nuanced.
Yes, but plenty of people won't bother.
And nor will they write a poem to get the message across. But more than that, the content that ChatGPT spits out is only as good as the information that it has access to. The bigger the database and the better the quality of the information, the better what ChatGPT will give you. And therefore, it means that education really has to come back to absolute fundamentals, making sure that kids can obviously read and write, but helping them to understand how to think critically, how to evaluate information, how to be creative, and how to synthesize and bring together disparate bits of information and say, well, how does this work with that? Okay, ChatGPT has given me X, Y, and Z, but I've still got L, M, N, O, and P that don't fit there. How do we bring this together? What I actually think that ChatGPT does is it gives us access to good information, and then we get to develop our thinking, our critical skills around that to do the things that only humans can really do.
So you're suggesting that it kind of just gives you a step up. It starts the process for you. You know how when you were in high school and you looked at an assignment and you kept putting it off because you just couldn't take that first step? Are you saying that that's what this is?
I think so, yeah. But it puts a lot more onto teachers and students, because I think what we're really going to be facing is a world where we need to know how to fact check well-written arguments. That's going to become more and more important. So clear communication matters, but critical thinking, the ability to look at something and say, that works. That's really good, except that's not consistent with this thing over here or that thing over there. That to me is where the real wow thing is, and that's where the distinctly human element comes in.
In my day with assignments, the big worry was plagiarism.
Yes.
If I use ChatGPT,
you can't detect it.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah. So it seems to be at this point impervious to plagiarism software like Turnitin, which is what most high schools and certainly universities are using. They have this software that's called Turnitin, and everything has to go through Turnitin so that we can identify the likelihood that somebody's lifted content from somebody else. It's really amazing. I think that I'm going to be using ChatGPT a lot, not to write my content, but to help me to source information. So I might say, let's say I'm going to do something about helping kids share. I might type into ChatGPT, how old are kids when they learn to share? I'm doing it literally as we speak. And as I've just pressed enter, and it says children begin to develop the ability to share and take turns with others around the age of 2 to 3 years old. However, the concept of sharing can take some time for young children to fully grasp, and it may not come naturally to all children. It's still typing while I'm reading. At around 2 years old, children typically begin to understand the idea of ownership and become possessive of their toys and other belongings. By the age of 4 or 5, most children have a better understanding of sharing and are more willing to share their things with others. And that's what it's given me right there. Now, because I've got a PhD in psychology, I happen to know a whole lot of stuff developmentally around that. I can now start to talk about the way that parents can help kids learn to share, the idea of what theory of mind or perspective taking and empathy, what those things are and how they play into a child's capacity to share, and why it's 4 or 5. In fact, it's often even 6 or 7 before they really get a handle on it, because they have to develop those capacities. So ChatGPT can provide us with some basic facts, but it can't flesh it out. Or the quality of the question that we ask it is what's necessary to really flesh it out and turn it into something awesome.
I keep seeing the downside though.
And the downside is learning.
Well, learning, and we all have been witness to people who profess to be experts in their field and share information that may or may not be helpful, and without the expert eye, people can be fooled by ChatGPT's limited understanding of things.
Yeah. This to me, it's a really exciting opportunity. It's an opportunity for people to develop expertise rather than cheat. I mean, I could get ChatGPT to write my next book, but why would I? Because quite honestly, I want the learning. I'm going to write my next book.
Yeah, but you're not like everyone.
No, but I think that
there's only one Justin Coulson.
No, but people are the same.
You're the person who rides up the hill 3 times because you like the pain.
But everybody has their thing that they want to master. Everyone has their thing that they want to learn and get better at. And
yes, but most uni students don't want to do their assignments.
I think that's more to do with the environment. That's more to do with the teaching model than it is laziness. I really believe that. And here's the thing, if you don't do the work, you're going to get found out once you're in the job, in the hot seat really, really fast. I actually think what ChatGPT has the potential to do is revolutionize education. I believe that in the next 10 years, school classrooms almost won't exist. School as we've known it for the last 150 years is going to be turned on its head, I think, in the next 10 to 15 years. And the school that our grandchildren go to will not look a thing like school as we've always known it.
Well, when I was at school, we used typewriters.
Did you really?
Yes.
That makes us sound so old.
Yes.
You're unbelievable.
I didn't go to school with laptops. It wasn't until my sister, who's 3 years younger than me, went to school that she got a laptop. So I still type with one finger.
So as you're talking about typing with one finger, I've just typed into ChatGPT one last question to wrap up our podcast. I asked ChatGPT, what are the pros and cons?
For typing with one finger?
No, of ChatGPT. So here are the pros. This is what it's giving me as we speak. It's versatile. It's capable of handling a wide range of tasks, from answering questions to generating text in various styles and formats. It's available 24/7. It's continuously learning because it is an AI. It's a machine learning algorithm that keeps on bringing in more and more information. The quality of the information in impacts the quality of the information out.
So unlike Google, which if I was to use the information that I take off Google would be plagiarism because it's written information.
Not just that, but Google is very much biased. The algorithm itself that drives Google is biased. It's biased based on where you live, biased on what you've looked up previously, biased towards, I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff going on with Twitter right now in terms of what the previous owners of Twitter, they used to just ban certain content because it didn't fit with their political views. Now, you may or may not agree with the political views that were banned or that were allowed, but it's a really flawed system. Whereas ChatGPT is objective. It's an objective system that provides unbiased responses without being influenced by emotions or personal beliefs. Now, the cons. ChatGPT, by its own admission, because I've asked for the top pros and cons, says limited knowledge. And this is what we've talked about already. Although ChatGPT can learn and improve over time, it's still limited by the knowledge that it's been trained on and may not be able to answer all questions or understand all contexts. Hence, the vital importance of true expertise. Humans who know how to synthesize and integrate and critically evaluate knowledge that's out there. Number two, lack of emotional intelligence. ChatGPT can't comprehend the emotional or social context of a conversation, which means it may not provide empathetic or nuanced responses to emotionally charged or complex situations. Number three, dependence on quality of data. We just talked about that a second ago. Number four, inability to reason. And number five, limited personalization. But ultimately, I think that it's going to change everything, and I think it's going to change things for the better. I don't see any benefit to being afraid of this thing. It's here, and it's only going to improve, as will others as they launch. And I think we need to learn how to harness this to help our kids' minds to develop, help them to harness the thrill of learning and to become competent masters in areas that matter to them. That, to me, is the advantage of ChatGPT more than anything, and ChatGPT didn't tell me that.
Well, you might be able to teach an old dog new tricks. Along with the Jensens and the Jetsons, I will be living in the future.
You're so awesome. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Craig Bruce is our executive producer. We really hope this has been a helpful conversation. A quick reminder once again, free webinar this Thursday night, how to be a resilient parent. Can't wait to see you there. All the details are at happyfamilies.com.au or on our Facebook page, Dr. Justin Coulson's Happy Families.